Donovan, called the greatest American soccer player who ever lived. 6 MLS Cup championships, 57 goals for the United Men's National Team, the iconic stoppage time goal against Algeria at the 2010 World Cup. That catapulted him to superstardom. And a legacy so profound that Major League Soccer renamed its MVP award in his honor while he was still playing. But behind the trophies and the number 10 jersey was a man quietly battling depression and the weight of being the face of a sport still fighting for its place in America. For the first time, Donovan writes about it all in a new memoir, simply titled Landon, where he holds nothing back, about a fractured childhood, an absent father he longed for all his life. He grew up hungry in Redlands, California, with a single mother and a soccer ball became his lifeline. By age 5, he was scoring 7 goals in his very first game against kids twice his age. By 17, he was signing with a club in Germany. And by 30, he was on his way to being a legend. But for Donovan, success and fame were never enough. That fractured childhood, he says, took its toll. And today bears his soul, not just to heal himself, but to reach young athletes who suffer in silence as he once did, hoping to give the next generation permission to struggle, be vulnerable, and ask for help without shame. American soccer legend Landon Donovan on changing his life and changing the game of sports. He is today's California story. Hi, everyone. I'm Giselle Fernandez. Welcome to a really exciting edition of California Stories, where we profile greatness, individuals making a magnificent difference in all of our lives. And today, we are here with the greatest American soccer player in history, the face of American soccer for more than 2 decades. And he has just come out with a really candid memoir. It is called Landon, and it is being said to be the most honest book written by a professional athlete, Landon Donovan. It is so exciting to meet you. You're a legend.
Likewise. Thank you.
So the book is called Landon. Your first name is not called Champion, Legend, or My Life in Soccer. What does that title tell us about what's inside?
Good question. We talked a lot about the title. It does matter. The book is very clearly the difference between a Landon Donovan that fans would have seen and who the real Landon is. Oftentimes it's different than the reality. And the impetus for writing the book was to give people a look at the real Landon, not just the one they might have seen on TV.
We don't see these kinds of really revelatory memoirs often with professional athletes at your stature. You've been one of the most recognized faces in American soccer for so long. Why did you decide to write this now?
I'm far enough removed where I just don't care what people might think one way or the other. I was able to be really honest. I wasn't sure if I was ever going to do this, but I took my time and made sure that I was at peace, whatever was in the book, and I feel really good about it.
Well, you should. You separate Landon, the professional athlete, the superstar, the legend, from the actual person. There was so much behind the scenes that people didn't know about you.
Throughout my career, I've been pretty open about my struggles, most of which are around mental health challenges and depression. And I get as many comments, Giselle, from people saying, thank you so much for talking about your depression. When you speak about it, it makes it easier for all of us to talk about it. I get that comment as much as I do, wow, what an amazing goal you scored. So I've always really enjoyed that. I've enjoyed that people connect with me through something other than just soccer. The amount of people who have already come up and said, thank you so much, this has had a profound impact on me or my family is astonishing, and I'm really glad for that.
And astonishing for you to feel seen in a real way?
Yeah, yes, it's a great question. I always wanted people to see me for Landon, and the root of that, and this is heavily written about in the book, is that my dad left our family when we were 2 years old. Didn't see him much, and really what I want to be seen by is my dad.
You were longing for your father's attention and affection.
Incredibly. And the interesting thing is, when I look back now, that longing for his attention is what made me an amazing soccer player, because soccer gave me that attention and it was filling this void. That attention for being good at something and someone noticing me was what I wanted from my dad. So it was necessarily filling this void, and ended up helping fuel my career.
What fueled your performance on the field.
Right.
Are you able to then reconcile that duality and see the blessing and the curse?
Yes, I can.
Or would you have been the same level of soccer player
there's
without
no
it?
way I would have been the same level of soccer player.
Interesting.
Unequivocally, because I wouldn't have had that insatiable drive for it to be noticed. You can love the game and be competitive, but to want the attention of your father and getting that from something, you're going to just go and go and go, because it's never ending. Like every time it happens, it feels good. And so there's no way I would have been the player I was. And
we're going to get into that. But first, I want to kind of take us back to your accomplishments and what you've done to become the legend that you have in American soccer.
Landon Donovan has set the record! 135 goals!
6 MLS Cups, 57 international goals. The 2010 Algeria goal, that was so exciting the last second. If you had to tell people who you are and what you want to be known for in those successes, how would you describe you?
A winner.
A winner.
I loved winning. And the thing I love about winning is that we all do it together. This is not an individual sport. And so when you have people who suffer through things, but you come together and at the end you're the last team standing and you win, that to me is an amazing feeling. So that is how I like to be remembered as a player.
Let's talk about Algeria 2010. It was stoppage time and you pulled it out. Thinking back to it, what do you feel?
It's the beauty of sports. I am the biggest sports fan. So I grew up here in LA watching Lakers, Clippers, Dodgers, Angels, Galaxy once they came, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And Kirk Gibson's home run. I mean, like those moments are, I have goosebumps. Those moments are what make sports amazing.
Was that Algeria 210 your moment like that?
Yeah, it was. And to be able to be a part of that and have other people share in your moment, as someone who's a lifelong sports fan, is really cool.
Who did you party and celebrate with after that game?
Teammates. And this I'll never forget. Our captain is there with Bill Clinton chugging a beer. And I'm like, is this reality? Where is going? Like, if you had told a kid who grew up in a 900 square foot home in Ontario, California, that he'd be watching the former president chug a beer. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. That's what when you're a kid in your backyard, you dream about that.
Yeah.
And then it came to reality.
And there have been so many milestone moments for you, but there have also been some painful ones. I mean, in every brilliant career, there's highs and lows. 2014, you were left off the World Cup roster.
It was a painful moment. I was outside walking into the locker room. The coach stopped me, said, "We've decided we're cutting you. We're not taking you to the World Cup."
After everything you've done.
Yeah, and look, sports are the ultimate meritocracy. I still deserve to be there. Forget about what I had done. I still deserve to be there.
You went into the bathroom, you cried. Your teammates came and they just sat with you and did not say a word. How powerful was that for you?
Very. When I sat down in one of the stalls against the wall and I just started crying, it all hit me. And 3 of my teammates walked in and sat down with me. 2 of them I had known since I was 15, and I was now 32, so more than half my life. And then a 3rd one, Michael Bradley, was there too. But the powerful thing, Giselle, and this is the power of therapy and self-awareness and sitting with things and seeing where things go. I was very depressed after that. I went home and for 2 weeks, really hard to get off my couch. I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping. And I was laying on the couch one morning, about 2 weeks later, and I was thinking back about that moment. And the 3 people who came in, Michael Bradley had played in multiple World Cups. DeMarcus Beasley, he had played in multiple World Cups. But Kyle Beckerman, the 3rd player, he just found out he made the team. And instead of hooting and hollering, celebrating, which was probably had to be the best moment in his career, he came into the locker room to put his arm around me, the guy who was always the star, always made the team, played in 3 World Cups, scored the goals, all the things. And I was sitting there laying on the couch and I was like, oh my God, what a powerful human being to come in and do that. And then I had this horrifying realization. How many times had I, after making the team, gone to another teammate and put my arm around them when they hadn't made it? And the answer was 0. And it really hit me hard. And I thought, okay, I wanted to go to another World Cup, but that lesson in compassion was probably more powerful for the rest of my life.
Do you know why you were left off that roster?
It's coach's decision.
And were you able to reconcile that looking back at it now?
If I take the coach at his word, coaches have hard decisions to make. It's not an easy situation to be in. My gut tells me that there was more to it than that. I don't know. I'm not inside his head, so I can't discern that.
Much of your book actually links trauma to growth.
Yeah.
Advancing who you are as a person.
Well, that story is a great example,
Yes.
right? Then I became a coach later. And when you go into it, if you have to cut a player or tell a player they're not starting in a game, if you come at it with that level of compassion, the player feels it. And they're not going to like the decision, but they'll respect it a lot more because you are empathizing with them.
You played alongside David Beckham with the LA Galaxy. You write this was a complex relationship. You had fallen
Very
out,
much
you
so.
reconciled. 2 of the best players on the planet in Hollywood at the same time. Talk to us about what that relationship was like.
The first piece of it that's important contextually is you cannot believe how famous David Beckham is. And you see it and you see the advertisements, you see him on TV, you see Victoria, and you have a sense of it. But until you're around him, you can't even fathom how famous this guy is. And when you travel with him, it's incredible. So David, with all of that, comes to the little old Galaxy in 2007. We're in last place. Our facilities are not what he's used to. Our team is not what he's used to, playing with the English national team and Manchester United. And he was frustrated, very frustrated. We were all frustrated. And I could see him just start to pull back a little bit. And I don't blame him. But the Galaxy was my love. I'm like, it meant everything to me. So seeing him pull back was really frustrating for me. And the big mistake I made was there was a reporter who has since passed away, Grant Wall, who was writing a book on the whole experience. And a few times over that process, I really spilled my guts to Grant. Not positive regarding David. So the book got published. You go, oh my God, you're hammering one of the most famous people in the world publicly. The next morning, our coach pulled us into the office and he sat us down. And he started talking and he said, look guys, we have to, and I stopped him right away. And I said, Bruce, can I please start? He said, sure. I said, David, I'm really sorry. Like, to do that to a teammate publicly is a terrible thing to do. I said, I feel the way I feel. What I said in the book, I feel. But I should have just told you face to face, man to man. And this is when I gained so much respect for David, who, by the way, I had a ton of respect for already because he was a phenomenal father. And he said, Landon, I understand why you're frustrated. I've been frustrated too. This is water under the bridge. Let's work together and get this thing right. And I was like, wow, because he could have destroyed me. Publicly, professionally, he could have destroyed me. And to his immense credit, he didn't. 2011 and 2012, we won back-to-back championships.
LA Galaxy are the champions. It's glittering Galaxy.
We had the same goal. We wanted the same thing.
Would you say you became friends?
Yeah. I mean, we weren't going out every night together, but there's a high level of respect between us. I mean, he's quoted on the back of the book, right? And I'm very grateful for that. And I think with time also away from it, you respect and you realize how much the other really cared about the whole thing.
Yeah. Want to read what he said in the back of your book?
Sure. I have never read it out loud. This memoir captures the brave man I came to know. On the field, Landon was gutsy, vulnerable, team first, a winner. What really set him apart was how he was off the pitch, a relentless spirit, humble and thoughtful, who raised the bar for everyone.
What did that mean to you?
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I mean, you can tell, like, it's so eloquently said, and very grateful for that.
Yeah, I totally get it. Look, your name is right alongside Ronaldo, Messi, Beckham. American soccer, very different. You said it's always had its own identity. But where does Landon Donovan fit into that grouping when you
Nowhere
talk about
near.
No, honestly.
Way down there. In their countries, the sport's been around for a century plus, right? And so there's tradition and history. Soccer in this country is so new, right? So the goal and the hope is that I am surpassed many times over as one of the best players, because that means we're getting better and better.
Well, you know, that may be a goal of yours, but MLS renamed their MVP award after you while you were still playing.
Thank God.
Yeah,
Thank God they didn't wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, Landon Donovan.
But what did that mean to you?
It was awesome. I cried. It was hard to believe, but I was very, very grateful.
The World Cup is coming to the United States, including right here in Southern California. And what does it mean to California, to the state, to you?
I'm so jealous. It is the biggest dream come true. If I had had the chance to play on American soil, it's almost hard for my mind to go there. I'm so excited for our team. I'm excited for our country. I'm excited for this city.
I can totally understand your longing to want to play, but you're nowhere near out of the game. And we're going to get more into what drives you when California Stories comes right back. Welcome back to California Stories, everyone. We are here with the legend who's written his memoir called Landon Donovan, Life Off the Field as Well as On. Again, a very candid memoir. There was so much behind the scenes that people didn't know about you.
What's funny about our childhoods is if you have challenges in your childhood, a lot of times it's human nature, you protect yourself. So I remember my childhood intellectually as mostly good, but emotionally I feel my childhood is very disturbed. Well, it impacted me in a lot of negative ways as a person. My twin sister and I were 2 years old. And my mom was a single mom living in a 900 square foot home, raising 3 kids on a teacher's salary. She was a special ed teacher. So she was making $30,000 a year trying to feed us. And my dad never paid child support. So most nights it was some version of eating Spam or hot dogs or fish sticks or grilled cheese sandwiches and condensed milk and some canned vegetables, and that was it. But that's all we knew. That was the life we knew. What I realized later through lots of therapy is the profound impact all of that had on me as a child and led to an underlying depression most of my childhood.
Yeah, and here you are performing magnificently on the field, and yet that depression did grip you. And you write about 3 specific times in the book, which were really challenging, where you couldn't get off the couch, where you needed a therapist to help you survive matches. And you also talk about an incident in Cambodia where you took some pot or something, had psychedelic experience that was really painful.
I was very straight edge through most of my career. I drank alcohol, but I never did any drugs. So I went to Cambodia and I thought, okay, this is the first time that I can really try. I wasn't playing at the time. I was taking 4 or 6 months off.
This was your sabbatical.
Correct. And so I said, this is a good time to try smoking pot for the first time. So the first night I do, and it's an enjoyable experience. It like really calmed me and I felt good and went to bed and got great sleep. And the next night, I was like, okay, let's have a little more than we did the previous night and see how it goes. So I did, and I was with 2 people from the resort. They were in my room, we were hanging out, and they left. And the minute the door closed, I started hallucinating. And I didn't go to college. I'd never had this experience. So I'm seeing frogs and worms and cockroaches, and I'm just losing my mind. And so I start having a real panic attack. So I laid in bed, and every time I closed my eyes, my brain was telling me, if you just go jump off that cliff into the ocean, it'll all be over. The pain will be done, this will all be over. And so I would then panically open my eyes, and I would see all the frogs and everything again. So I had to close my eyes again, and I was going on this back and forth, just trying to escape it somehow. And the only thing, and I'm not being hyperbolic, the only thing that saved my life was many years prior, I had started going to therapy. And the impetus for going to therapy was actually first going to a meditation class. And so in this meditation class, I just learned how to breathe and bring, no matter what's going on in the world, bring my focus back to my breath through my nose, and just breathing and breathing and breathing. And I went back to my breath, and for the next few hours, so in the midst of this 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, I don't know, I lost track of time of this back and forth. Maybe I should go jumping in my life. No, open my eyes, hallucinating. In the midst of all that, like some miracle out of somewhere, my brain said, go back to your breath. Whew. And I went back to my breath, and for the next few hours, it would still keep going, but then I would come back to my breath, and it would go crazy and crazy, and then I would come back to my breath. And I just sat there for hours and focused on my breath until I woke up, and it saved my life.
You got emotional there, recounting that.
I almost died.
Surviving that, was there a moment of epiphany where you said, I got to change things?
Well, I knew I didn't want to smoke pot anymore.
Lesson learned.
It actually wasn't that moment for me. That moment came earlier, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But the problem then was that the depression that ensued from that incident was really dark.
Different level than the other times you had gone through depression.
Similar, but I mean, I laid on the sand for days, and I just felt like I had an elephant sitting on top of me. Like I could not physically get up, and it was horrible.
How did you get out of that?
Just time, meditating, speaking to my therapist back home, and time eventually, most of the time, does help. Mm-hmm. And with time, it lessened and lessened and lessened, but it took about a week or so. Wow. I had to extend my trip and just stay there. I couldn't get on an airplane. I had to stay there and get right before I went home.
Mm-hmm. And there was another incident earlier that
the incident that told me I need to fix this was 2006 World Cup in Germany, and I had an awful World Cup. We lost 2 games and tied 1. I was terrible, and that was the first time in my life that I got criticized publicly by ex-players, by the media, by newspapers, everything. And it crushed me. Now, for most people who have a strong personal identity, what you do at work and failing at work would bother you, but it wouldn't destroy you the way it destroyed me. Like, the way I felt was too strong for what had happened.
Your entire identity
everything was
you,
wrapped
the
up.
athlete.
Everything. And from everyone else's standpoint, but most importantly from my standpoint, this is who I am, Landon Donovan, the soccer player. There is no Landon without that. That triggered my first real depression in my life. And at the end of it, 2 things happened. I started going to therapy. And second, I just made myself a pact that what I was disappointed with in the performance was how I played, not the outcomes. You can lose games, you miss shots, things happen. I just didn't play with the love and the joy and the assertiveness that I was used to. And so I said, okay, I'm either stopping playing forever, or I'm gonna play the way I know how. Win, lose, draw, whatever happens, I'm just gonna leave it all out there and do that. I'm gonna go with this and keep playing like this every day till my career's over, and at least I'll be at peace. This won't happen again where I'm gonna spiral. I'm not letting that happen again. I needed to find out who I was without Landon Donovan, the player. I had to.
Even for people who are not interested in soccer or sports, can identify with being identified as only one thing. I am what I do. We are human doings, not human beings. How do you come to that place where you start to feel your identity as a man, not just what you do?
Through lots of hard work. But if you knew me before therapy and knew me after, you would say, that's worth it. Like the life I get to live now, which is very short, is way better than the way I was living before.
Yeah, I mean, you write about how you had to give up prom, family relationships, college.
So many people get interviewed, you see this all the time, who are super successful, super wealthy, and they're in their last years of their life, and they all say the same thing to a person. I wish I had spent more time with my family or my friends or what. And I feel so grateful that I figured that out in my mid-20s. I am incredibly grateful that I was able to learn that early. The goal, of course, for all humans would be to learn that really early and young. We don't, unfortunately, teach that in our society, but that would be ideal so that you can live a fulfilled life. And by the way, you can still chase success and money and your dreams, and that's all okay, but with a level of balance.
We're going to get more into how you really want to address mental health in professional sports, and we're going to get into that when California Stories comes right back. Welcome back to California Stories, everyone. We're here with a legend who's written his memoir called Landon, The Life of Landon Donovan, on and off the soccer field. You've become a really fierce advocate for mental health in sports.
Yeah.
In a culture that says, drive hard, even if you're in pain, still go forward.
Right.
What needs to change?
Conversations help. Feeling safe to talk about these things, I think, is really important. I also want to say it is okay to ask for help and get help. And in fact, you need to. It will, in some cases, save your life. In every case, change your life. There is a place for, I have kids now, for being gritty and dealing with hard things and dealing with hard moments and being tough and, facing adversity. But not when you are suffering from a disease. I'm talking vis-a-vis depression, but there are lots of mental health illnesses. If you are suffering from a disease, it is okay to ask for help and get help. I say it that way because I then don't want the pendulum to swing where it's like we don't do anything gritty and we don't try hard things and we don't push through things and we don't have to work hard on our homework and we don't have to take out the trash when you're a kid and do hard things, because we don't want the pendulum to swing too far. But for those who are suffering with real disease, it is okay to ask for and receive help, no matter if you're male, female, an athlete or not. It's okay.
But do professional sports allow for that vulnerability, allow for that humanity? And there's so much branding and money and sponsorships, Olympics or World Cup.
Okay, but here's the irony. It's better business and better for the sport if the human is doing better. The best I ever played in my life, ever, is when I was happy off the field. When I was taking care of myself through therapy, I was playing the best. Guess what? When I wasn't, I was playing terrible, right? So it's not like you have one or the other. One actually helps the other. So I would encourage people to talk about it in a healthy way and get help and work on themselves, because it's going to make you better in whatever your profession is, and as a human being, it's going to make you better.
Is there still a stigma to even address it, to talk about it, to go and say, hey, I feel vulnerable, I feel weak, I feel down?
Not for me, obviously. I can't speak to other people and how they feel in their own body. I have men come up and he said, thank you so much. My son is dealing with really bad depression right now, and I just appreciate you talking about it. I kind of equate it to when we were with the Galaxy, the first openly gay player, Robbie Rogers, came to our team. Once he was able to put it out there publicly, he was like the biggest weight off of his shoulders. He played better. Nobody cared. It wasn't a big deal. And so I hope we get to that place with mental health too.
Is therapy, is that kind of support, do you see it infiltrating in more professional, sports?
I do.
You do.
I see it a lot more. Private sports organizations, what they're starting to realize is, oh, this is actually good for us too. It's not just doing the right, and many do the right thing, but it's, oh, by doing the right thing, we're gonna get better performance. Many now have sports psychologists with people who have performance anxiety or have issues with the coach, and that is helpful. But I would argue you can go deeper. Like, you can go deeper into the human, and getting the human happy is gonna make the human perform better.
You've seen it.
I've lived it.
You've lived it, and you've also seen it as a coach. You
Yeah.
co-founded the San Diego Loyal. I've read that there was a player during the match who had kind of voiced a homophobic slur, and you forfeited the game. That was a really bold move. Why did you do it?
It was the last game of the season. If we had to win the game to make the playoffs. That's the context. Wow. We're winning 3-1 just before halftime. And something happens on the other side of the field. I can't see what's going on. And our player gets a red card. And I'm like, the player who got the red card is the openly gay player on our team, Colin Martin. And I was like, what? That's bizarre. So he comes over to me and he says, that guy called me, and he said the bad word. He was devastated, like really devastated. So we sat with the team and we talked through it, and we said, what do we want to do? Right, because this is our teammate. These are sons to me. And I went to the coach and I said, Rick, you need to send him. You need to sub him out. You guys are already in the playoffs. It's not a big deal. Just take him off the field. And he said, I'm not taking him off the field.
It's not racism. They're competing. It's homophobia. How long have you been playing soccer?
Guys, listen. This is what's gonna happen. The red card is rescinded.
He said, Landon, that's just part of sports. We need to get on with it. And I said, no, it's not. We need to get that out of sports. It's not just part of the game. He said, I'm not gonna sub him off. I said, okay. So I pulled the team in. He said, here's the situation, guys. What do you wanna do? And I could tell it was a dodgy moment for them. And it was hard for Colin. Like, he didn't wanna now forfeit a game or walk. He knew he didn't want all this. And one player right away stepped up and he said, we're not playing. I was like, okay, you guys on board with that? I said, yep. So the ref blew the whistle and we walked off.
Proud moment for you?
Yeah, I wish it hadn't come to that. I'm not a fan of like crazy cancel culture and doing things for drama or for likes or the internet or all that. But you also have to stick up for what's right in life. You do.
When we come back, more with soccer legend Landon Donovan on the state of American soccer, the World Cup coming to LA, and how he reconciled with his dad, when California Stories comes right back. Welcome back, everyone, to California Stories, here with soccer legend Landon Donovan, out with his memoir where he writes much about his complex relationship with his father and how they finally reconciled after so many years. You sent a copy of your manuscript before it was published to your father, Tim. Why?
Well, the one hesitancy I had in writing the book was how painful it was going to be for my dad. Everything else I was at peace with. So I sent it to my dad. Let me take a step back. At 20, he and I had a really, really big falling out. And I said, don't ever reach out to me again. And obviously it was years of pent up frustration coming out. So for 5 years, didn't speak to him. No communication, nothing. Through therapy, I had a big breakthrough aha moment. And finally, for the first time in my life, I forgave him.
What was that breakthrough?
I was able to understand why it was hard for him to be around and why the anger he had was not towards us. He just made bad decisions. I didn't agree with it. I didn't like it, but I said, you know what? I can understand why he felt that way, and I forgive him. And the craziest story, and I swear on my life, this is the truth. I had been dealing with like a groin injury. And it was killing me. I was still playing through it. We had this session. I forgave him. I cried and cried and cried, probably for an hour on her couch. The next morning I woke up, went to training, the groin issue was gone. Completely gone.
It was emotional pain.
It was emotional, just holding on. and it eventually caught up to me physically. Sorry, that's tangential. So I forgave him. The next day, sent him an email, and I said, Dad, I want to come see you in Nashville. He was like, okay. So I got on a flight. About a week later, I went to see him. I told him how I felt, good, bad, and ugly. I told him I forgave him, and he was receptive. He apologized.
He did. What did that mean to you?
It was hard for him. I said, Dad, all we ever wanted, me and Tristan, my twin sister, all we ever wanted was for you to apologize. And he pulled the car over, and he looked me in the eye and he said, I'm really sorry. And I said, thank you. And that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted from him. And so it wasn't like overnight everything was copacetic, but over time we started to build a relationship. And the book, there's a lot of my dad in the book.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things, but there's a lot of my dad. And for me, what resonates, it's different things have resonated over the years. We've navigated this, but what resonated for me now when reading it is my dad. My dad passed away in December. And so I feel a lot of gratitude that I was able to forgive him, that he was receptive, and the last decade of our life together was everything a little boy would want from his dad.
It's a beautiful sharing, and I think there are so many father and sons and parents and children that will glean so much from your reconciliation and the peace that you found from that.
I hope so, because a lot of people get to the end. I had someone tell me who read the book, they said, I never said anything like that to my dad till he was literally on his deathbed. And he's like, I just regret it so much. I wish I'd done it 2 years earlier, 5 years, and then we could have had some relationship together. So I hope so.
Some people never have that healing.
And that would be really painful. Yeah.
Landon fires, he scores!
When we come back, more with soccer titan Landon Donovan on living an authentic life on and off the field. We are back with American soccer great Landon Donovan.
You're nowhere near out of the game. You've launched this podcast.
When you're in a game like that and then you score, the last thing you're thinking about is like some pre-planned thing. So you just react.
You're the interim coach of the San Diego Waves.
You make 5 passes there, you can go to goal.
So you're deeply engaged in the game. You just can't leave it altogether, can you?
You're right. I think I have a problem.
It's a good problem.
It's a good problem.
Is it hard to leave when you're at the level that you are?
It wasn't for me because I was done. Done.
You knew.
I knew.
At the end of the memoir, you say you found peace with your family, with your friends, with the sport that you loved, in your new life. What does peace look like to you?
I used to say happiness, and now I say peace. Happiness can be kind of fleeting, come and go. I have 3 amazing kids, challenging kids.
All who play soccer.
All who play soccer and who have big personalities, which long-term I'm happy for. As a parent, it's a nightmare.
I can attest to that.
But yes, but they are fun. I love golfing. I have an incredible wife who watches our children while I do things like this. I play ice hockey now in honor of my dad because he played his whole life. So after he passed away, I started playing and I love it. The emotional boost I get from it is unlike anything else.
Feel connected to him?
Absolutely connected to him every time I play.
When California Stories returns, more with soccer icon Landon Donovan on a mission to transform youth sports and his hopes for Team USA in the World Cup. USA! When we come right back. We are back with soccer legend Landon Donovan on life after soccer and his mission to transform the game.
My next frontier in life is helping to change youth sports in this country. And I used to say youth soccer, but I think there is a cultural, almost disease in this country, obsession with winning and money around youth sports, and it has to stop. It's killing our kids. I want to give the game back to the kids.
And what does that look like to you?
It's a big undertaking, but the easiest way to say it is you have to change the incentive now. The incentive right now for every youth soccer club is to make money, and the way you make money is by winning soccer games. Because the parents who are part of the culture go, I want my kid to go to that team because they win, and then my kid will get seen, and then she'll go to college, and it's all a bunch of BS. It's all smoke and mirrors. So how do you change the incentive so that the incentive is to make it fun for the kids? Yes, they should be getting better and developing, but in a fun way. And if you can change the incentive structure, so that's how the clubs get whatever they want out of it, money or prominence or whatever, that's how you change it all.
And that's what drives you right now.
This will be probably for the rest of my life, yes.
And in the meantime, we have this big World Cup coming here.
Oh, by the way.
Oh, by the way. American soccer, where is it today?
Well, this actually ties into the youth discussion because I told you in 2002, I was named the best young player of the tournament. Now, you would think in a country with 350 million people, 24 more years of experience, Major League Soccer growing, the sport growing, you would have thought that would have happened again, or maybe we'd have someone named the best player in the tournament, or at least players that are capable of that. It's gone the other way. And so clearly what we're doing is not working. Long way of saying, we have good players in this country. We do not have top 50, maybe even top 100 players in this country, which should not happen in a country of 350 million. Countries like Uruguay, who have 3 million people, Croatia, who have 3 million people, these countries have many players who are consistently top 50, top 100 players in the world. So if they can do it, why can't we do it?
So for anyone who's not a big soccer fan, and they go, what's the big deal? What's the big deal?
Here's the big deal.
Yeah.
Most people in this country have heard of the Super Bowl or watched the Super Bowl. Super Bowl in a given year draws about 120 to 140 million viewers worldwide. The World Cup, every game of a World Cup, there'll be 104 games this summer. Every game, at a minimum, will draw 120 million people around the world. Every game. The magnitude is not a little bit greater, it's significantly greater. And that's what a World Cup is, but it's with national pride on top of it, right? So now you have people supporting their nation and what that means to support your nation on
right
top of
now.
all that. Exactly. And so it's until you go and experience it, you can't really explain it to someone, you just won't get it. So our team, I'm cautiously optimistic about our chances this summer, mostly because of the boost you get from a home World Cup. The crowd and the fans and being on home soil, that always boosts the home team. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Well, your lips to his ears, because we would love that win here, not just on U.S. soil, but on California soil, right?
Amen.
Thank you for writing such a honest book about your life on and off the field. You're not just a legend as an athlete, but as a man. Thank you, Landon Donovan.
I really enjoyed that.
A true legend. Thank you so very much.
You too,
and thank
Giselle.
you
Thank
for
you.
watching another edition of California Stories. I'm Giselle Fernandez. See you next time.
Like what you see? Spectrum and Xfinity customers can watch Spectrum News live for free 24/7 on the Spectrum News app or on TV. Find your channel using the link in the description.